How to soothe your little one when they cry in their sleep and still keep them sleeping peacefully. Hello, dear parents. Today, I want to share with you something that I'm sure every one of us has experienced. The moment when our baby cries in their sleep. For me, those moments are a mix of love, worry, and confusion about what to do. Through this piece, I'll walk you through what I've learned from a parenting expert, sharing it with the heartfelt emotions of a mom or dad who's right there with you on this journey of raising kids. First, let me give you a quick rundown of the key points that I found super helpful. For newborns, crying is their way of talking to us. Even when they're asleep, the most important thing is for us parents to stay calm, wait, and watch before jumping in. Don't rush to pick them up right away, because sometimes they're just shifting sleep stages. Newborns often don't sleep soundly, especially in those early months. But don't worry, by around 3 months old, they'll start sleeping longer, about 8 to 9 hours at night, plus a few short naps during the day. Alright, now let's dive deeper into each part so you can picture it clearly. Soothing your crying baby. The secret lies in understanding. Hey parents, being a mom or dad is such an emotional ride, isn't it? When our little one cries, it tugs at our hearts, and all we want is to rush over and hold them tight. But you know what? There are so many ways to comfort our babies. I often nurse them, hold them skin to skin, play some soft music, or gently rock them. Those little things can work wonders and calm them down in no time. But then there are those nights when, out of nowhere, they scream or cry loudly in the middle of the night. Eyes still closed, I'd panic, wondering, are they having a nightmare? Can newborns even dream? Then I realized sometimes they cry while still fast asleep. So how do we help them without waking them up? Let me tell you more about the unique sleep patterns of babies. Understanding this has been a game changer for figuring out the best way to handle it. When they cry in their sleep, what should we do? Guys, I totally get it. Hearing your baby cry in the middle of the night makes you want to leap out of bed and scoop them up. But here's something surprising the experts say. Pause for a moment. Wait, and watch. The truth is, the sounds or cries they make don't always mean they're awake. Sometimes they're just moving from light sleep to deep sleep, and they settle back down after a few seconds. I've tried standing still and listening, and sure enough, there were times they cried briefly and then drifted back to sleep. So, don't rush to pick them up just because they fuss or cry at night. Okay? That said, we need to pay close attention to the kind of cry. If they're crying because of a wet diaper, hunger, feeling cold, or even being sick, it's different. The crying gets louder, more persistent, and doesn't stop after a minute or two. That's when I know they need me right away. I'll quietly change their diaper or feed them. But I keep everything calm. No bright lights, no loud talking. I want them to know nighttime is for sleeping, not playing. What's fascinating is sometimes they cry, and I can't even tell if they're asleep or awake. It's like they're half in, half out. In those moments, I've learned that waiting is the best approach. We don't need to soothe them as much as we would when they're fully awake. Just a little patience, and they'll find their way back to sleep. Your baby's sleep journey, understanding to walk alongside them. Have you noticed how much newborns sleep? Parents? It's a lot. But their sleep isn't as peaceful as ours. In the first few months, they can sleep 16 to 20 hours a day, broken into short little naps. Their internal clock isn't fully set yet, so they sleep and wake on their own rhythm. Experts say babies need to feed 8 to 12 times a day. In those early weeks, some little ones won't wake up on their own. So I'd gently wake them every 3 to 4 hours to nurse until they started gaining weight steadily. After that, they'd sleep for 3 to 4 hours at a stretch. By around 3 months, I was so relieved because they began sleeping 8 to 9 hours at night, though there were still a few small interruptions. Here's the cool part. Their sleep is so different from ours. Babies spend half their sleep time in REM, rapid eye movement sleep, or active sleep. That's when they might wiggle or make noises. Then there's deep NREM sleep, where they're completely still and breathing steadily. Their sleep cycles are short, just 50 to 60 minutes. So they're more likely to make sounds at night than we do. I realized their crying in sleep is often just them shifting between stages. Crying at night, are they having nightmares? Parents, have you ever worried that your baby's nighttime crying means they're having a nightmare? I used to think that too. But it turns out no one can say for sure if newborns dream. Experts suggest nightmares or night terrors might happen more with older kids, around 18 months and up. There's also something called night terrors, which can show up in kids aged 2 to 4. It's different from nightmares and happens during deep sleep. They might suddenly cry or scream, and I'd feel so helpless not knowing what to do. But the wild thing is, they don't even know they're causing a fuss. They won't remember a thing the next morning. In those moments, I just stay close, keep them safe, and wait for them to calm down. There could be other reasons they cry in their sleep too: teething, illness, or something bothering them. If it starts affecting their daytime routine, don't hesitate to check with a doctor. I've had my share of worries, but learning and being patient has made things so much easier. Hey parents, this journey of raising kids isn't easy. But if we listen and understand our little ones, everything will fall into place. I hope these thoughts help you feel a bit lighter when your baby cries in their sleep. Let's keep walking this path with our babies together.